Software College Football instructional video number 14. This one is Breakaway Containment. Now this is my favorite home-brewed rule that my buddy Paul and I came up with after playing numerous games head-to-head. We wanted a little bit more impact on defensive play calling. And what we came up with is a ruling called Breakaway Containment, whereby first let's discuss the running situation. On any play that gives us result codes of long runs, like a result code 21, 20 to 29 yards, or 31, 30 to 39 yards, etc., what we've done is, before we award that, say, 20-something yard run, we check all the pass ovals. There's 4 pass ovals, 1 long pass oval, and the 3 medium pass ovals. And when we were playing head-to-head, we had, man-to-man type movement abilities, free safety, double teaming. So after we replaced those defenders in their appropriate spots when playing with those advanced rules, we would tabulate and count up how many defenders were in those pass zone ovals. Let's say typically in a 4-3 alignment, nobody moved, just straight zone, you'd have the free safety in the deep zone, and you'd have the strong safety in the medium middle pass oval, and you'd have the 2 cornerbacks in the outer pass oval. So that'd be 4. So typically there's 4 defenders back there in the secondary, and we use that number count, if that in fact occurred, against one of the D6. Now when we played, we had 2 different colored D6, so we usually in the team colors. So like a 67 USC would have a red die with some yellow dots or pips. And if they were on defense, we'd look at that die. And if it was 1, 2, 3, or 4, equal to the maximum number of defenders that we counted up, we negated the long run, the 20-something yard run. So this gives another dimension to the running defense game, whereby if you want to stack the box and bring more players in the box to stop the run, you'll get a lot more short yardage game, but you're going to be vulnerable to the big breakaway run, or more vulnerable. And of course the players' cards had to be redesigned to take this into account. Now if in fact the breakaway was contained, if the running play card called for one of the pass ovals, we used a 6-yard gain, that basically a shoestring tackle 6 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. If the offensive play card called for one of the linebacker flat pass type zones, we would give it a 3-yard gain, and if it was a front 7 down lineman type blitz zone, we would stuff the long gain for a 0-yard gain. Now we also employed this breakaway containment to the passing game. The receiver's cards can be thought of having run after catch yardage incorporated into their result codes, unlike the linemen and the quarterback cards. So when big gains came off the receiver's cards, that is the receiver's cards only, not the quarterback's card, or not the down lineman cards, or not the defensive player cards, we would also employ the breakaway containment rule. And if it was the play card was calling for the D ovals, the medium ovals, we cap it at a 6-yard gain. If it was calling for the flat rectangle flat pass zones of the linebackers, we cap it as a 3-yard gain. If it in fact called on the long deep pass, we would cap it at a 19-yard gain. But on those plays, we wouldn't use all 4 pass ovals. We only use, in fact, the deep pass oval itself, which from earlier videos you may recall has a maximum, as any pass oval or linebacker square has 2 defenders. So these are harder to contain because on the 6-sided die roll, only 2 maximum contain these passes. Now, this is strictly for the college teams. As I mentioned, those player cards have been redesigned to incorporate that this will happen on occasion, and in fact is required, because if you don't use this rule with the college player card, you're going to have some high-scoring, offensive-oriented games. So in conclusion, it's used for both the running game and the passing game. In the passing game, it's only utilized to the receiver's cards for their run after catch yardage, so incorporated. And basically, you can think of it, the more defenders that are back in the secondary, the better chance that the college defenses have of containing these big, long breakaways. The more defenders they move out of the secondary, out of the passing ovals, into the box, the rushing box, the better chance they will get for stacks and short run yardage plays, but they'll be more susceptible to giving up the big breakaway run. And my buddy and I really liked the defensive element that this played, and we thought it was more realistic in how breakaways are actually occurring. An overcommitment to the run, to defenders up near the line of scrimmage, which leaves a depleted secondary to stop the big runs. Okay, that'll do it for breakaway containment, a special rule for the college teams.